How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to quickly preface this by saying this is going to be a very different video from the rest of the content I've been producing lately. So yeah, this is going to be a little different. I've never done anything like this before. And the reason that this video is coming out so late, because I know this is basically a topic that not everybody, of course no one is over it, but everyone's, getting over like talking about it, and it's like the full like mainstream front of the news. But yeah, the reason that this video is coming out so late and I hadn't done it yet, hadn't actually made this video to talk about it yet, I was really contemplating whether I really wanted to produce this video or not, and ultimately I decided that I myself would be very regretful if I didn't ultimately make this video. So that's why I'm making it. But it took a while. But it took a little while for me to really basically get up the courage to be able to do this. To decide, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. But now I'm here and I'm making it. So that's that. So I have been a basketball fan for a little while now. It's interesting because I always say, of course I always say it because it's just my history, my life. Basically, I've been playing sports just for fun for like a while. Football, just throwing the football around, shooting, just shooting around for basketball. Throwing the frisbee for ultimate frisbee. Ultimate frisbee's still so fun. I can't get over it. And I've been doing that, actually playing sports for quite a while, for the majority of my life. But it took, I was a late bloomer to get into actually viewing, like having fun watching and viewing sports. Yeah, I was a late bloomer to that. And of course, as you can see, I am a Warriors fan. There's literally Steph Curry on my wall there. That's just because of being in the area. That's just what, I grew up in the area. Those are the first people that I ever saw in, hometown. Of course, I'm a Warriors fan. I'm next to San Francisco, if you didn't know already. But I've always had a love for the city of LA as a filmmaker. I did acting for a really long time. I just love SoCal and especially LA so much. I'm literally through the process of debating whether I want to be there or not. But like living there, that's a totally different discussion for another video. But so naturally, anything that has to do with LA, I also link with a lot as well. And so the Lakers have been my second favorite team forever. I'll put on record here and say for as long as I've been watching basketball and been a fan of basketball, I've been a Warriors fan. The Lakers have never been my favorite team, but they've always been my second favorite. So the thing that is interesting about this situation is when it comes to Kobe Bryant, I didn't get to watch him a lot live, like while he was actually during his career playing, because I was a late bloomer to basketball. I saw, ended up seeing like the last 4 years of his career or so, which of course is nothing compared to the rest of it. So I didn't get to see him play live really that much. But that's, I think, the interesting thing to me is, for me, the intrigue and the love for the man that was Kobe Bryant came from just him as an individual. He was so different compared to like anyone else out there. It's literally like he was bred differently, like 1 in 7 billion. That's what it feels like. And my intrigue for him came for just how he conquered and just took hold of everything in his life. Of course, basketball being the main thing, but when it comes to business, investing, using his money, and of course now everyone's talking about being a father, and a husband and a family man. That's where I really drew a love for Kobe, and really getting to see this man, at the end of his career, being on talk shows and interviews and really diving deep. It always felt like he was a real, genuine person, with real morals and real beliefs, and it didn't ever feel like he was, putting on a character. It felt like he was him, and that's something that really doesn't is pretty rare in today's climate. So I think that's why I initially like really attached to and really gained a love for this man, Kobe Bryant. And I don't really know what else to say. But this is pretty crazy. Of course, that this is just insane that this happened. One of the first, the way that I found out that this actually ended up happening was I was sitting there right before the Pro Bowl, and I had to finish this book. Just me personally, I was reading a book which is like a business book. I was, for my own education and learning. I was reading this book, and I said, okay, I want to finish this book. I want to get it finished before the Pro Bowl, so that I could have time. I could okay, book is finished, and now I can just go watch the Pro Bowl, and feel content that I finished the book, and now I can watch the Pro Bowl. I was finishing it up, and I remember the Pro Bowl. The time already hit that the Pro Bowl was now starting. It hit 12, and the Pro Bowl was now starting, or 12, I don't know, whatever time it was, and it started. And I was like on the last couple pages of my book, and I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna have the mental fortitude. I'm gonna have the mental fortitude to finish this book. I'm just gonna sit here and finish my book and not turn the Pro Bowl on, because I don't. I want to get my book done. I don't want to have the distraction of the Pro Bowl being there on my screen. So I just wanted to finish my book, and obviously now I would, I really, really wish that I had turned it on, to get to see that moment live. But basically what happened was I was reading, and all of a sudden from my dad's room, my dad and my stepmom, they were just like talking, and then all of a sudden was like, all of a sudden someone was like, whoa, be quiet, whoa, because they were watching the Pro Bowl. They're like, be quiet, and then it went really quiet for a second, and my stepmom came running out of the room, and she came over to me, of course being the basketball guy of the family. She came over to me on the couch in the family room, and was like, Kobe Bryant just died. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's on the news right now. They just switched it from the Pro Bowl. Like, Kobe Bryant just died. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I think my tone of saying it was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's something that no one should have to deal with. Like, that's just insane. And then turn it on, and following the story, I was just in shock. Like I was in actual shock. Like, I was like, I had a paragraph left in my book, and I was just sitting there watching. And they switched it back, they went through the whole news report and everything, and they switched it back to the Pro Bowl, and I remember just sitting there like, holy crap. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was literally just sitting there in shock, not thinking anything. It was just insane. It was so unfathomable how someone of, like, it doesn't, it's the kind of thing that doesn't feel real. Like, how can that happen? Kobe Bryant is like one of the most treasured people on this earth. How can something like this happen? Like, it's literally something that only comes from a movie. Like, it just doesn't feel real. How in the world can this happen? And after I heard that, I was just in shock, and it sucked because I had to go to a meeting in an hour. That's the other reason I wanted to get the Pro Bowl on as quick as possible, because I wanted to watch as much as possible before going to my meeting. And I remember being like, holy crap, how am I going to go to a meeting right now? Because I was sitting there stunned the entire time, just, are you kidding me? And then of course now, I totally put the book aside. I'm like on my phone, looking through all the social media and everything, watching the news on the TV. I'm just like, this is so, like, this is literally out of a movie. This is not, how in the world could this be real? And it took a really long time to set in. It also, like, the first 2 days, that Sunday and that Monday, I didn't get any work done. I literally did nothing because I just couldn't. I was just sitting there and just I was just in shock for those entire 2 days. I literally got no work done. I just couldn't. The week kept going by, and I was like, okay, I have to get stuff done now. So I did. But initially it was like, this is insane. How am I supposed to work right now when how can anything else be on my mind? And I went to that meeting, and I ended up being really, I ended up, I had to push through, because meeting with a client, you can't not. So yeah, I ended up going through it, and then coming home. And I remember I got home, and it was immediately just, throw my bag down, sit right back down on the couch where I was, and turn the news back on. And then just go scrolling through my phone again, just looking at everything. And the worst part, definitely one of the worst parts about this scenario in particular, was just the fact that so much was like so unclear for a really long time. Like, the reports that were coming out were so different and just so insane. First off, the fact that TMZ were the first people to leak it, and I think apparently, like, that's how the Bryants found out, was from the TMZ reports, not from any actual source going to them directly, is absolutely insane. And that's just disgusting to even think about. Like, all the news reports, it was like, the initial report was like, okay, there were 4 other people on the plane, or it's on the helicopter, and then there were 5 other people. And then there was something about Rick Fox was on the plane, and then another report came out that all 4 of his daughters were on the helicopter with him. I keep saying plane. But and then eventually it was like there were 9 people, and finding out that Gianna was on was like the most horrible moment about it all, of course. Because I specifically remember times like showing my parents, like going to my parents and being like, because of course I'm a basketball fanatic. I love basketball, so anything that's really interesting I just like to talk about. And I remember one day just seeing highlights from one of Gianna's games, or like some one of the organizations, Ball is Life Overtime, whoever it was, putting together like these highlights of like Gianna, and like seeing how dominant she was over the rest of her competition. I was like, holy crap, like I have to show my parents, like, look at this is Kobe's daughter, she's insane. Because she was leaps and bounds above like her level, where she's supposed to be. And that's just, I guess that just runs in the Bryant family. But yeah, of course, this is all not about, this entire thing is not all entirely only about Kobe and Gianna. Their families, anyone else affected, is completely in my heart, but there were 7 other people lost as well. To all the victims and all their families, they're all in my heart, and I'm thinking about them. And I just can't imagine what they're going through right now. And yeah, it's an insane situation. And I know, I'm late to talking about this, but yeah, I didn't know if I really wanted to. I came to the decision that I do, and I know everyone is saying it. The whole, I dedicate everything I do now to Kobe. And of course he's gonna be one of the people that's always definitely in my mind, and that's a big motivation, for anything that you're doing. Just think, what would Kobe do? And that's definitely something that will always be in my mind. And yeah, it's definitely something that I don't think anyone will ever get over, and I definitely myself will never get over. But yeah, my thoughts and my heart go out to anyone, any of the direct families, anyone who this affects at all. It was really awesome to see, like, because of course the Grammys were the same day, which is such an unfortunate situation, at the Staples Center. And so, just seeing how many people, even though there was all security and everything, trying to keep people out of certain areas and everything, seeing so many people join there, and even seeing photos this past weekend of all the stuff memorabilia and the flowers and the candles and all of the Kobe, just everything there, that had compiled over the week is like insane. That really shows, that just shows, you know, what kind of an impact this man had on not only basketball but the world. Not just being a father, not just business, but literally the world as a whole. Like I remember going on Twitter and like every single thing trending was about this situation. It was insane. It's definitely one of the craziest like experiences, like things I feel like tragedies I feel like I've gone through in my lifetime. But like in my lifetime that I've been, you know, coherent to, you know, to understand what's going on. It's definitely crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say, just other than, you know, of course he and everyone involved will be missed. But you know, legacy will live on forever. Like, you know, the famous quote from him that goes around is, you know, legends never die. And so, you know, his message and his movement, his morals, his beliefs, everything about him will always live on. And yeah, I know I'm really surprised I didn't break down during this video. I think I've pretty much the first 4 days pretty much took all of the tears out of me. So I think I won't be able to cry for anymore for a couple more months. That's how much I was initially. And then watching his, when ESPN re-aired his final game, was really hard. I was like sitting next to my mom watching it, and then they finished the game and he had a speech. That was really hard. Yeah, but so that's about it. Like I said, this is a different type of video than I normally put out, but I ultimately came to the conclusion that I wouldn't feel right with myself if I didn't make this. So yeah, expect, going back to normal content after this. I hope I never ever have to make a video like this again, but yeah, just keep moving forward, and carrying on the beliefs that Kobe had and how he decided to live his life, Mamba mentality and all. Yeah, I know, he'll never be forgotten, and yeah, just, to anyone who's affected and is still having a hard time, my heart goes out to you as well. We're all in this together. We're all, so yeah, I'll just, I guess that's it. How do you end something like this, really? But, thank you guys so much for sitting and watching. Like I said, I want to be as real as possible on this channel. Yeah, just thank you guys for watching, and I'll continue. It's something that sucks a lot, and it sucks so much out of you, but it's a really good time for motivation. And I'm gonna try and take some light out of the situation and use it as that. So I guess I'll just see you guys in the next videos. Thank you so much. Love you guys.